Thanks very much, Dr. Singhvi, for joining us. I think congratulations first. You've been really fronting all the legal troubles of your party. And this one was no mean task. You've got some sort of a relief. So congratulations there. But I must ask you the first question. You did go to the Supreme Court seeking overturning of Yeddy's appointment of Chief Minister. What you've got is the floor test being done tomorrow. Is this complete victory? I mean, why is everybody in the Congress party hailing this as complete victory?
Well, I think it's a miracle of the Supreme Court if it has kept even the BJP happy. I am very happy in their happiness. Please ask them. Can you hear me, please? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir. We can hear you.
Phone hi kharab hai yaar.
Yes, sir.
Time waste. Yeah. Can I repeat?
Can hear you, sir. Go ahead. We can hear you.
If you think
yes, sir. Go ahead.
If you think this is not a complete victory, and if you think that the BJP is clapping, please ask the BJP why they said that please don't have a trust vote before 7 days, or at least not before Monday. Does that sound like the plea of a winner? Who asked for a floor test not before Monday? Second, did the BJP through the Attorney General say please have a secret ballot? Have you ever heard of a secret ballot for a no confidence motion? Who asked for a secret ballot, Supriya? The winner or the loser? Third, the BJP says let Mr. Yeddyurappa function. Now, Yeddyurappa ji no doubt is a sultan, but let me tell you, he is a sultan for less than a day. He has no sultanate. The Supreme Court passes an order, he shall take no policy decision even between that is today and tomorrow. Yes, he enjoyed the sultanate for a day. In that one day, he had a cabinet ministry meeting with himself. He was a one-man person with a cabinet meeting having with himself and made a few policy decisions. Today, the Supreme Court stopped him. The Supreme Court says you must have a trust vote tomorrow. It says you must start swearing in from the morning so that by 4 o'clock the trust vote starts. It says have a pro tem speaker. Does all these directions sound like a loser's anti-BJP directions or a winner's? Last but not the least, the Supreme Court could validly and clearly have said the matter is over now. We dispose of the petition in terms of the directions. Despite this, at our request, I specifically said this is a very important issue of law on the larger issue for future. Please decide it. So they kept it alive. So the larger issue will be decided after a few months, which will be guidance for the future.
But Dr. Singhvi, that is exactly
this mysterious needle in the haystack. The needle in the haystack. Where is this victory for the BJP?
But Dr. Singhvi, that's exactly my question. The decision on legality of what the governor did will only be in the next hearing some months down the line. Does that become immaterial given that there will be a trust motion tomorrow? And more so, do you believe it is important to do so because this will perhaps set a constitutional precedent?
No, the two are different. We cited 3 cases, in all 3 of which I had appeared, Goa, Jharkhand and Uttar Pradesh, which said that we preponed it to 48 hours after the date of the Supreme Court order. Here the Supreme Court preponed it to less than 36 hours, actually something like 25-30 hours. What more can the Supreme Court do? So that part is over tomorrow. But equally the Supreme Court have disposed of the matter, they have kept it to lay down guidelines for the future. So what more is required? Should we have said no, please hear this matter for 4-5 days more, give a judgment after 1 month and don't have a trust vote tomorrow? Does that sound logical to you?
No. Okay, Dr. Singhvi, I think the trust motion was required and I'm glad the Supreme Court is doing it tomorrow, which is why I congratulated you to begin with. But BJP MLA and a 4-time MLA, KG Bopaya, who does have a bit of a checkered past as far as Yeddy's term in 2011 is concerned, has been elected as pro tem speaker. Obviously, much to your annoyance, JDS has also now moved court now. My larger question is, can this suspicion continue? Can doubt on everything continue? Because you have to set suspicion apart for democratic institutions and democratic processes to take off.
Look, there are significant reasons, more than 3 or 4 or 5, why this should not have been done, the appointment of Mr. Bopaya. I leave it to you to judge. First, the Supreme Court passed 4 or 5 directions today. All are encapsulated under one word: fairness and level playing field. In a fairness doctrine, in a level playing field doctrine, the uppermost issue is that the chief umpire or the chief referee must be above suspicion like Caesar's wife. Caesar's wife was not guilty, but because she was Caesar's wife, she has to be above suspicion. Number two, could the BJP have found only one human being out of 104 who has been strictured by the Supreme Court? Is that the best they can do? Number three, could they find only one person out of 221 where one of them is an 8-time MLA? Number four, I did not know that an 8-time MLA, the senior most in the group, would be a congressman. It could have been a BJP person. But the convention is to have the senior most. Why? Because people across the political spectrum, suppose there are houses where there are 10 parties. People across the spectrum have faith and trust in a pro tem speaker. So who's asking for too much? And if the BJP goes around and does this, it automatically shows how their mind is working. If you can't win the match, try and fix the umpire.
Right. I kind of agree with you there. There shouldn't have been room for any criticism on the appointment of the pro tem speaker. But sir, all day today, the BJP has sounded very confident of winning this majority vote tomorrow. You've of course shipped your MLAs to Hyderabad. They'll be back in the house. How confident are you of being able to keep your flock together? Because tomorrow through the day, from swearing in to when the vote takes place, they will be speaking to their counterparts from the BJP. How will you be able to keep your flock together, and how confident are you of that?
You see, when you say how confident and you say that the BJP is confident, I am reminded of a phrase which the Dutch have coined. They call it Dutch courage. Dutch courage is a courage which is created by certain forms of liquid. Now, if you are happy with that, if you are living in a dream world, Mungeri Lal Swapnalok, it's very good. You can have that courage, you can have that confidence. I don't understand the confidence of a party with 104 with no roadmap in sight for 111 versus the confidence of 117 or 115 or 116 who has got such substantive directions of the Supreme Court. So I think it's a no-brainer who is dreaming these nice dreams and who is working on the ground to be sure of confidence in a real sense.
Dr. Singhvi, a last question before I let you go, and this really has to do with just two scenarios. Either the BJP wins the trust vote tomorrow, or if it loses, obviously you'll be called in along with the JDS to form the government, and I'm presuming given your numbers, you will be able to prove a majority. The question that a lot of people are asking, and especially at ET now, I think it's important that we ask you that question because investors are beginning to ask that question. How stable will that alliance really be? We've had similar experiments in the past which haven't really gone down well. Is it starting on a shaky ground given how opportunistic it was to begin with?
Your line is horrible. It can't be heard. This one long questions I can't answer because I can't even understand them. Give me a one-line crux of your question, please. I can make out. Give me a one-line crux of your question.
How confident are you of completing a full term with JDS? How confident are you of completing a full term with the JDS if you were to given an opportunity?
Let me tell you that the JDS and we have worked together earlier. Let me tell you that it is clearly a coalition which has arisen from the need to keep divisive forces like the BJP out. I have absolutely no doubt that they will complete not only a full term, but that they will do it with absolute exemplary policy work on the ground. And it is precisely because the BJP is extremely worried about being completely marginalized in the next few years that all these shenanigans are going on. I think nobody needs to have fear on that count, which is why the desperation is there in Mr. Yeddyurappa and the BJP.
Dr. Singhvi, thank you very much for speaking to us right here at ET Now. You've been fronting legal troubles for the Congress for a long time now. It's suffice to say this is perhaps one of the toughest that you've encountered, one that you've bet upon a lot. Thanks very much, Dr. Singhvi, for speaking to us. It's back to Tanya in the studios because up next is India Tonight.